Energy. It is the ability to cause a change, the capacity to do work. Energy has several forms. We will mention radiant energy, chemical energy, electrical energy, and thermal energy.
Kinetic energy. Energy that a moving object has because of its motion. Depends on the mass and speed of the object. The way to find kinetic energy is kinetic energy equals 1/2 mass times velocity squared. Ke means kinetic energy. Its units are joules. M means mass. Its units are kilograms. V squared means speed squared. Its units are meters squared per second squared.
Potential energy is energy stored in a motionless object giving the potential to cause change. A hanging apple on the branch of the tree has stored energy. When the apple falls to the ground, a change occurs. Because the apple has the ability to cause change, it has energy. If the apple stays in the tree, it will keep the energy stored, but when it falls, the stored energy of the position is converted to energy of motion.
Elastic potential energy is the energy stored by something that can stretch or compress, such as a rubber band or a spring. On this picture, you are looking how elastic potential energy is illustrated. As you can see this girl stretching the elastic on the arc. The potential energy that was in the elastic now is transforming into elastic potential energy.
Elastic potential energy is the energy stored by something that can stretch or compress, such as a rubber band or a spring.
Elastic potential energy. On this picture, I'm going to represent how the springs are a good example of elastic potential energy because it can be stretched or compressed.
Chemical potential energy is energy stored in chemical bonds of atoms.
Chemical potential energy. This picture shows the chemical is stored in the food that we eat, and that's where we get the energy for our living activities.
An example of chemical potential energy is when natural gas burns it combined with oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water. In this chemical reaction, chemical potential energy is released.
Additional potential energy is the energy stored by objects due to their position above Earth's surface, depends on the distance above Earth's surface and the object's mass. In the picture, it shows a tree. The tree loses an apple. The apple falls by weight, and the gravitational potential energy makes it fall faster. Even by height, it affects it to go even more faster. The formula for gravitational potential energy is mass times acceleration of gravity times height. The measure for gravitational potential energy is joules.
Mechanical energy is the total amount of potential and kinetic energy in the system and can be expressed by this equation. I am going to show you what's happening in my drawing. A bicyclist is going up the hill. It means that potential energy is greater and kinetic energy is less. When he's going to the top of the mountain, potential is the highest and kinetic energy is 0. And then when he's going down the hill, potential energy is less and kinetic energy is greater.
Mechanical energy is the total amount of potential and kinetic energy in a system and can be expressed by this equation. Mechanical energy. This is the equation for mechanical energy. ME equals KE plus PE, where ME represents the mechanical energy, KE represents kinetic energy, and PE represents potential energy. The units for mechanical energy are joules.
Temperature is a measure of the average kinetic energy of all the particles in an object.
Heat, thermal energy that flows from a warmer material to a cooler material. On this picture, the thermometers show how the thermal energy is transformed into a cold and into a heat. In one thermometer, we can see that the thermal energy is transforming into colder. The other one is showing how thermal energy is transforming into warmer.
Law of conservation of energy states that energy can never be created or destroyed.
When electrical energy goes into the light bulb, it transforms into the light and heat. So we can see a transformation of energy that the law of conservation of energy states the amount of energy that goes into the light bulb will be equal to the energy that goes out. That is the form of light energy and thermal energy.
Work is a transfer of energy that occurs when a force makes an object move.
This picture shows a girl carrying books while walking. She is exerting a force on the books with her arms, and the books are moving. As a result, the girl exerts force in the direction the books are moving. Therefore, she is doing work.
Power is the amount of work done in 1 second. It is the rate at which work is done. To calculate power, divide the work done by the time that is required to do the work.
In this picture, the wind is pushing the blades, doing work in an amount of time, which is the definition of power.